Our friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Dynamic Effort Bench Press Day. Got a lot to talk about today, so a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much if you reach down there and do that. You can also go click like on my other video this morning. I would appreciate that too. All right, let's get over to speed bench. First couple sets, still just kind of warming up to the speed. The last 6 sets I went ahead and really set up my arch good. We need to start working on that. I need to start getting super tight down below, get that arch set up, which again happens when I go on my toes anyways, but then I went ahead and put my feet up on the bench so that I can get all the way on the traps. You know, and this is something I feel like it's very hard for a lot of novice lifters to learn. And even as a coach, when you're teaching long distance, it is very hard to get novices to understand getting tight on the bench. So if you guys watch what I do for the next 6 sets, this is what we mean by getting your lower body tight. Your back never touches the bench on a bench press. And in fact, you know, when you have someone who says, oh, the bench press is an exercise, it's a lazy exercise laying on your back. Some people like to say that. That person clearly doesn't know how to bench press. Because your back doesn't touch the bench. Your glutes and your traps touch the bench. You should be able to squeeze a hand underneath your lats at least. Actually, your lats should be at least a ½ inch off the bench too, if you got any traps at all. You are tight, and when we dig those feet in, you should actually squeeze the bench, is what some people don't realize. A lot of guys who were talking about getting tight, you dig your feet into the floor. So when I reach down here and do this, I'm doing a leg extension into the floor. When I put my feet down, notice what I'm pushing. I'm doing a leg extension into the floor, and I'm actually squeezing the bench between my thighs. So you see my adductors there squeezing the bench? I'm gripping it. I'm gripping the bench with my thighs. I'm doing a leg extension into the floor. That is what we mean by get tight. Your back does not touch the bench at all, by the way. Okay? Your glutes touch the bench. The bottom half of your glutes touch the bench, not the top half. Your traps touch the bench. Your feet touch the floor. Your thighs are squeezing the bench. You have 3 points of contact. And as you guys notice, I'm doing all close grip for the speed bench because I'm just going to close grip. I'm stronger on close grip. It's easier on my shoulders. I'm just going to build my close grip, and I know what muscles I need to build to bring my close grip back up now that my shoulder's healed. I've done 352 twice on the close grip now. Last year. We'll get that back, and then we'll pass it. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Even though I'm going to be cutting a pretty good chunk of this year, waiting on a swoosh, I'm sitting at 225 still, which is kind of frustrating. Been there for 2 weeks. Down from 241. I'm going to get to 210. I might drop to 205. I'm going to assess my body comp at 210. If I've got wiggle room to cut further, I'll cut further. Then I'll lean bulk to 210 and then bulk and cut back and forth and stay in that range. Because I want to cap my body weight at 210. I have enough body fat to get away with it. Right? I'm just going to be quite lean if I do this. Be more competitive. Be healthier. But let's talk about what we're going to do on the bench. I will get the 375 this year, and I'm going to do it with a close grip. Let's not even talk about, oh, I could try it with different. No. I'm going to close grip 375 by the end of this year. It's like before when I said I was going to squat 600. I got a 600 squat. I pulled it off. People didn't necessarily like the way it went down, or the fact of the bar I used, but I got a 600 squat. So let's call this now. We're going to get a 375 bench. Close grip, and I'm going to do it weighing light enough that I could walk into a 198 class. Okay. I'm going to drop to 210. I'm not going to go above 210. I did an 18-pound water cut at my last meet easily in 10 days. 13's nothing. So that's going to be the goal. We're going to hit 375 this year. But do whatever it takes, and this training I'm doing today is what it takes. All right, after that, you guys notice I'm going to move towards more 6s. Why? As I've said before, 6s lets me do more total sets with more total tension. I can focus on 6 reps. We're still in our kind of our ideal volume for hypertrophy per set. You know, 6 to 20 reps usually can give you the most hypertrophy per set basis. We need more sets when we start going under that. I'm getting just less total jump volume, less warm-up reps if I do this. I can get more mechanical tension, which is what we need for strength. Hypertrophy being the number one thing, obviously, but the mechanical tension does help. I can focus more on sixes. And again, what I'm doing, all these grips are narrow grip on everything. Why? Well, I don't have the best overhead mobility. I'm doing my dead hangs still every single day. I've gotten better at those. My mobility has improved on the dead hangs. I still do not have great overhead mobility. So to get more range of motion out of these chin-ups and pull-ups, we'll just do them narrower grip. Why? That makes, again, if you do the geometry, especially a guy with long arms like me, look how long I have to move to do the reps. Okay, this forces me to go through a longer range of motion. Just like all my close grip pressing. It's a longer range of motion. Build more muscle, but we're going to do low enough reps to have the heaviest tension possible. Okay, started with pull-ups. It's my first back exercise. And I'm alternating a pressing and a pulling each time. Why? It lets me recover more so that I have better performance on each exercise because I'm using different muscles. And then they get a break. So my pressing muscles get a break, my pulling muscles get a break while I alternate exercises. Again, doing that with the relatively low reps, the moderate reps, allows me to get more total sets in, quality sets. Now, my first set of dips always looks rough. I really struggle to get in position. As you guys notice, I'm trying to do these with the elbows back more. I'm doing them with the closest grip I can do and still fit in the thing without hitting my chest on the thing. I can't get all the way up. I can get to the midway. Being a V-bar, this gives me, again, I get a phenomenal recruitment in my triceps doing this. Okay, and that's all we care about. I try to lock it each time. I can't always get upright enough to get it locked. As far as the bottom goes, I go deep enough to get that stretch on my chest, but not enough to hurt my shoulders. But again, the closer grip, I have long arms, we get a good range of motion. But I'm focused on just staying tight because my goal on these is to put a lot of weight on my triceps. Yes, it's going to hit chest too. My chest gets hit on dips no matter what I do. But I am trying to push it more towards the tricep side, so I'm trying to focus on keeping my elbows pulled back, trying to focus on squeezing those triceps super hard. And it does. My triceps get a pump just on the 6 reps. So again, and I get that stretch. I get a pretty deep stretch on them there, and I feel that stretch contraction. And that's one of the big deals with the dip. That's one of the reasons the dip hits the tricep so hard. A lot of people don't realize that. It stretches the tricep hard. It's a stretch position movement for the tricep. Again, it also helps give you more power out of the bottom of your benching on the tricep, which people need to understand. It's not just about the lockout on my close grip. The tricep is an important muscle out of the bottom too, and the lockout. And if you can get it stronger out of the bottom, better stretch position, you're going to have more tricep left when you get to the lockout. Okay. Then I'm doing chin-ups, trying to use the same strategy here. So again, we're bumped to 25, and I'm doing a lot of volume of chins on these 2 days. I'm not happy with my chin-up and pull-up performance, but you know what? If I keep doing them and I push the limits of my volume and tension, and I continue to lose body weight, of course that's going to make them easier. I'm going to get pretty strong at these again. So I'm putting in the work. And again, I'm working the bottom of the range of motion the best that I can within the confines of my shoulder mobility. Right? A lot of these I'm starting with a hang, and I get to a hang always on the last couple reps, and the last 2 reps on any of these shows you my range of motion. That is as far down as I can go. Some of them I'm just kind of dropping down and coming back up, but right there, and then, you know, usually at last rep, sometimes the second to last rep, I'm trying to go into a deep stretch as far as I can go, and then pull myself up to finish off. Incline went good today, and as I've said before, I'm stronger on the wide grip incline. I'm weaker on wide grip benching. Incline, I'm stronger. But again, I think it's the range of motion, because look how long that range of motion is close grip. I feel like I finally have the technique dialed in on these now, finding my correct touch point and leverages for the incline. Because you guys notice now when I hit the bottom, perfect wrist stacking. Found my perfect chest position. I pause on everything. I went up 2.5 pounds on this today, so it's 192.5, and I know you guys have seen me do 225 for 5s on the wider grip. The goal is to get back to that with this close grip, because that would be much stronger because I'm moving it a lot further. And I get more tricep on this. I normally feel 0 tricep on the wide grip. I get a ton of upper chest and tricep on these, plus all the front delt. All incline pressing is arguably the best front delt exercise. If we went purely off EMG, it absolutely is. It even beats overhead work. But we can't necessarily base it entirely off that. We can't compare two really good exercises and say off EMG data that, hey, it's absolutely better. Because if both of them are extremely high levels, they're at high levels. The comparisons kind of really break down at that point. Okay. So just something to think about when we look at EMG. But there's a lot of good biomechanics that would suggest, because again, front delts are a primary mover, there's a lot of tension on them mechanically, it makes sense. So this is my main front delt exercise, because again, what do we need for the close grip? Front delts, triceps. We need pecs, but it's more upper chest. I'm getting extra pec work off those dips as far as the lower chest. This hits the upper chest, front delts a little more. That's what we need for the close grip, or my max is on the close grip. That we need a lot of lats, especially when you arch. Your lats really help you out of the bottom on the close grip bench if you can arch good. And if it's for obvious reasons. It's because you can actually use them to pop your arms out and up externally, because you press against your lats like a spring. So another reason I'm putting a very, very big emphasis on lats. Another reason I'm going to maximize my chin up and pull-ups instead of rows. I'm still going to do some inverted rows and stuff, and I'm going to do a lot of smaller upper back and delt work to make sure that area gets hit. I mean, that area gets hit with chin-ups and pull-ups. It's just that the emphasis is lower up there. I want people to think it doesn't work it at all. But we're finishing that off with the smaller stuff. But I want the big, heavy movements. I want them working my arms. I want them working my lats, my lower traps, middle traps. But, oh, I should add, I got an extra rep on the incline, by the way. So, again, I can bump weight next time. And the goal will be, let's get up to where we can do 225 for sixes on that close grip one. I think we'll see some very, very good bench carryover at that point. But the chins, so again, notice I do chin-ups twice in the same workout. I incline between. Why? It lets me rest long enough to where I can replicate my performance again from the first 3 sets. So it ends up giving me 12 sets of weighted chins every week. Okay. 6 sets of weighted pull-ups, because I do all this twice a week. I have 2 upper body days. That's a lot of bicep. That's a lot of lat. A lot of lower trap. And I'm going to get stronger and stronger at them. I'll bring the strength back up. I will get to, and this is a vow, long term, I will get to where I can rep 2 plates on the chin up. Now, instead of overhead pressing, I wasn't happy with the overhead pressing last time. You know what? My front delts get a lot of work, especially when I throw laterals in, but all the incline benching. Let's do JM presses. JM presses. Now, focusing on keeping the elbows up. Right? Focusing on keeping those elbows up and doing these the way JM teaches. So I dropped back to 75 today. It's first day back doing them. I did 12 plus reps on every set. Let's just go ahead and maximize triceps. So again, I can talk about, well, this movement over here puts it in a stretch position, will help out of the bottom. The JM press is, again, arguably one of the best exercises ever for increasing tricep strength on the bench pressing. So again, if I'm going to close grip, and we know it's more delt and more tricep, this is what we need. I'm doing all this other pressing close grip. I can do dips. I can do JM presses every upper day. This will maximize tricep. It'll push them to the absolute limit. Just got to be very careful with those JM presses that I don't let them start turning into close grips to my neck. So I'm going to I'm going to do them the way he teaches, with the advice he teaches of the way to progress on them, so that I can do it right. And as he said, eventually you can get to very heavy weight. I'm going to focus on doing them correctly. Again, notice my fists stay up, something I've had to point out to clients who do these. Fist stays up, you punch the sky. That is very important to this movement, keeping the elbows high and the fists up. Okay, and you notice at a certain point in the range of motion, a couple of the reps where I dip a little lower, you notice that the elbow comes down. We're not moving the elbow any further as far as extension and flexion of the elbow. There's no more tricep involved by going lower. It's just shoulder at that point. Okay, then what did we do? Inverted foot elevated rows, right? Inverted rows with an underhand grip. Why the underhand? You know what? Because I want even more bicep. Let's go ahead and build. I don't want to do curls. I have time for curls in my training. Doing some small work for delts. Look at all these chins and then finishing off with high reps with these to failure. My biceps got a tremendous pump from all of this. They were got a lot of tension from the chins. This pumped them up, and my lats and my traps pumped like crazy. And here's the other perk. This takes stress off the low back. I do so much low back work because I'm deadlifting now. On both my lower days, I do a max and then other stuff. I'm doing Romanian deadlifts too. I'm doing good mornings. My low back, it doesn't have any more recovery. I don't need pin lay rows. Notice I'm not doing anything standing. None of my upper body work right now today, other than the little light work, the dumbbell work for shoulders. Nothing's loading my spine up because I get so much of it on lower days. Let it recover now. The inverted rows let me do that. Everything else puts it in traction. I did 4 exercises with plates hanging from a belt. I'm just going to put traction on it because I compress it a hell of a lot. All the squatting, all the deadlifting, all the good mornings. Okay, we don't need it. And if I want a road movement to get a little more upper back, the inverted rows will do it. It'll give me a different angle, and so then I get a horizontal pull instead of a vertical pull to get a different angle, just like I do those incline to get a different angle. Work everything a little differently. But by doing it underhand, what are we doing? Getting even more bicep. More bicep. Again, biceps help you out of the bottom of the bench. But I don't think that, based on all the research I've ever seen, I don't think that curls are necessary to even maximize bicep development. I'm going to save that extra work for my triceps and my shoulders, because this already takes a long time. This is 20 minutes of work sets. 20 minutes of actual work sets. It's a lot. Keeping in mind, this is only one of my 2 upper days each week. So then what do? We finish off with very effective small movements. Lateral raises. Again, I limit how high they go. It's easier on the shoulder. And this way I have no pain or inflammation in my shoulder. I have 0 pain in my shoulder today after this. None. Still lets me work the side delt upper trap. And this, because I've been over, works the rear delt a little bit more, which we will finish off with the face pulls. Notice the face pulls, the way that I grip it, works the side delt too. So basically, all these exercises right here at the end, they work the traps, they work the side delt, they work the rear delt. Just the side laterals have a little more focus on the side. The face pulls have a little more focus on the rear. Just finishing off all of that upper back and shoulder, just to make sure we're giving it pump work. This is really just pump work. The only stuff I'm really doing it on. Again, a little bit of work. This is done in 10 minutes. It takes me 10 minutes to do all 6 of these sets. Possibly less, because I'm resting like a minute. All right? Just finish them off at the end. But it's worth quite a bit of extra growth in those muscles. And I'm not even going to say smaller muscles, because the delts are the biggest muscle of the upper body when you account for all 3 heads. They're actually the biggest muscle. A lot of people are not aware of that because they see an individual head and think it's a small muscle. Yeah, each head's a small muscle. You start doing some of these movements that work all the heads, it's a big muscle. And it accounts for most of that look that guys have out there. So again, I'll bring it up while I'm cutting. I'll work on it. It'll only help me get better at benching anyways. It'll only give me more stability. Right? Of course, you guys can see my back these days, even through the shirt. And everyone's always really have a jacked back. But as I get leaner, I think it's going to become even more apparent. You can already kind of see it through the shirt there. Just my traps and stuff. I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to keep improving. People are going to talk smack. They're going to hate. I'm going to keep doing work while they talk. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. Hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.